blah, blah, blah. Hello, everyone. Hello. So the music should be playing right now. Gosh, train had it polish. The stream is barely gone, and Goblin gets that back. So, thank you for the headbat, Polish Bones. But yeah. Hello, everyone. So, does everyone hear the music fine? Like, is the music good? Polish? It's a bit loud. Got it. Goblin will decrease it. Is that bad? I know Goblin's gonna decrease it a little more, actually. That sounds bad. That sounds much bad. But, welcome everyone. Goblin live streaming. And all that. Blah, blah, blah. Now. Hello, Polish. We just chatted on Discord. You do not get to miss me that much. You got to chat with Goblin fabulously. Which, by the way, link below for Discord on panel stuff. If anyone wants to follow Goblin on Twitch, at least. If you on YouTube, good luck. But welcome to the Abyss. This is Goblin's Abyssal home. Hello. There's a couch right there to the right. You can sit on, chat, if you want to. There's also a TV floating above your heads right now. So just look up and you'll see it, because the Abyss says nothing really stays in place for long. But anyway, welcome to the Abyss. Now, let's go over a few things, because Goblin does want to go over a few things. Is one, the Friday D&D group is... Ooh, yes. You mean the Dreamscape. There's a difference between... Polish. You mix up the Dreamscape with, the, Goblin's brain is farting right now. You mix up the Dreamscape with the Abyss. Two very separate things, yes. Although they are similar in concept. So, as some of you may not know, if you pay attention to Twitter or you pay attention to Goblin's Discord, Goblin's Friday D&Ds that would normally be today, if it was consistent, is cancelled. Yep. The Abyss is very easy to get lost in. Don't wander off to where the Abyss crocodiles are at. Those are very annoying to clean up the mess of, by the way. So, how to go over things. So with what happened with Goblin's Friday D&D group, is basically most of the original players, you all saw them leave at one point or another, or know that they left. And any new ones that Goblin got, they went away because they didn't like the 3.5 system that Goblin tends to run. I mean, and that's even partially why Goblin's even making Goblin's own system, because it's a new system that has like some of the positives of both of like 3.5 alongside other systems. So if it goes well, people will actually may stick around a bit. But for now, um, yeah, the main thing is basically just figuring out what to do from here, because Goblin's on the break take of the fall, Goblin's fall break from college, and it's just nice to get away from it all, you know, not to deal with Humies, not to deal with things, not to deal with a professor that approves of. Can Goblin even bring up the subject on Twitch, actually? Can Goblin even bring it up? Yeah, fall breaks are nice. They give you a break between heavy class time periods. It's very nice. It makes it so things are less stressful and diverges up the workflow a bit to make it so you have a little bit of rest. Now, Goblin's up today on everyone that's followed Goblin, so. But yeah, with what's been happening with Goblin, it has been a very interesting time frame for Goblin right now, because Goblin has a very stressful class that Goblin cannot probably bring up the subjects being talked in it, because yeah, actually Twitch would definitely demonetize Goblin if Goblin brought up anything like this, and YouTube as well, actually, so Goblin cannot bring up those subjects. Yeah, so basically some very nasty subjects Goblin has been forced to deal with because of an insane professor, and so it's been bad on Goblin's mental health. Goblin has been expressing this for a while now with close people in Goblin's life, or even friends, people that Goblin knows, and warning them to not get involved with this professor, because this professor is a whack job, in Goblin's opinion. Like, Goblin understands that they have their own beliefs and emotions and opinions. There's a certain line that you just should not cross, no matter what. But that is like you. Humies be weird and decide to play, I can do whatever I want because blah and blah and blah. And Goblin's like, yeah, okay, good luck with therapy. And that's all Goblin has to say for them. But, So the main point of just talking in this abyss is Goblin's gonna let you all know what was the plan originally for Goblin's second group D&D and what was set up, because Goblin was excited. Goblin had so much fun plans. Goblin may just give it all to Goblin's group 1 to let them have fun with that, to face the challenges, to make use of all the stuff that Goblin had made and done, but yeah, you know what, Goblin's gonna go over it. So, one, there was some plans for, basically, Goblin had plans for them to deal with infiltration of a corrupt prison. Goblin had plans for them having people join their guild. There was also like just a boatload of fun quests that Goblin was excited for them to do at some point if they ever got a chance to. But yeah, they never really made the time for it. But mainly because a lot of people left, which was quite sad for Goblin. But these days Goblin can move forward from it and just be like, take notes on what possibly could have gone wrong, and it's just like, yeah, it's just like, it's hard for Goblin because the main issue is that there's not many players that are out there that like the idea of a system that has a balance of combat and storytelling, because it's just been hard finding players like that for Goblin that also are chill with live streaming it. Those three factors altogether just make an unstable bridge that crumbles in Goblin's experience, but yeah. And it's just an interesting thing to note in Goblin's mind. And let's see, what does Goblin else have planned? So basically the whole end result was supposed to be the end result of the group to Friday D&D group was supposed to be about this idea that basically both parties were actually up against the same threat. They were up against the same BBEG, the Grand Lich, and Gollum was having it planned so basically they would find out the horrors and evils on one side of the Grand Lich's plan, while the other party would find out the other half of the information needed, and then they would all figure out together what the Grand Lich's phylactery is to allow them to put an end to him with working together and finding out information and have a grand final battle to invade the Grand Lich and shut down his whole plan for world conquest over life. Because he already has basically not fear of death anymore. Yeah, that was the plan. The Grand, like, they were both in the same world. Both parties were in the same world, Group 2 and Group 1. Group 1 is still going. Goblin's still gonna have the Grand Lich be defeated. But it is just flopped in Goblin's face so hard because Group 2 was just never able to meet up or stay long enough consistently to allow Goblin to finish the story. And so, because of that, and yeah, Goblin gets what you mean, there's really cool ideas they can get out there, and some ideas overlap, and yeah, it never got to be finished, basically. Where Goblin's still gonna finish the story with the other group, but it's just not the way Goblin hoped. I mean, like the party situation was even cool right now because Goblin wants to clarify within Goblin's party, the group that Goblin's playing with right now. The quest right now they were dealing with before everything fell apart was basically they were heading into the dungeon of a clone of the Lich King. Goblin took inspiration from the Lich King of World of Warcraft and was going to have the party face him. Goblin was so hyped for this battle, and yeah. And you had to scrap your character? Ooh, that's unfortunate. Goblin guesses there was a lot of homebrew or something. I wouldn't have worked in a new setting. Nah, no, there is ways around that in Goblin's mind. No, there's ways around that. Goblin has found ways around that in the past, and so Goblin knows how to do that, really. So it really just depends. But in Goblin's opinion, that actually shouldn't be the case because it should be fairly possible to pull it off. And so, because let's put it like this: you can either have the character be set back to 0 is one methodology you can do it. So like level 1 basic background of that, and then have like similar aspects build up. Or 2, you can have that character development happen with the idea of dimensional travel, where basically your character's thrown in like an isekai or a portal to another world, and have them travel against their will to another world. That would be very interesting having that handled. Yeah, you can still have that happen though. Like you can have them still be connected to those characters, but travel to another world. Yeah, Goblin understands the frustration of that because it's just like making characters is fun, but also like sometimes it feels like you can only have them in one setting or one world. And Goblin gets that feeling. It can feel that way. But other than that, yeah, so with Goblin's being basically now just one party, it should be fun still in the end for Goblin. And although Goblin wish it was still two different parties, but Goblin's gonna make use of the characters made, don't get Goblin wrong, because it's like it's sad that it fell apart the way it did, but there's a lot of cool characters that were introduced because of how many people kept leaving and world building that happened. That Goblin's going to make use of them for the group one to see how they handle those situations and interact with those characters that would have been their allies and could be their allies still. Romance with one of the other PCs. You know, you Goblin thinks like what you could do. Here's just an idea. One, if you still have contact with that fellow player, and if they're alright and improve it, you can still have the PC character come with you in your interdimensional travel, or have your character want to get back to that other PC character. If not, what you could do, Goblin's just thinking here, you could have it so it's an alternate dimension reversal thing, where basically your memories are erased and release that character, and you have to find out why you forgot them during your interdimensional travel, like you got a concussion and forgot about the PC that your character loved. Does that make sense? And basically, your goal is to figure out why you forgot those memories. That'd be a very interesting story arc, actually. I'm just looking at some messages, seeing what people are saying. Hmm. Yeah, that's fair, Polish. That's fair. You can still play your old PC. Like you can find the character sheet, you can find your references to what you had before. You can still play the character in the end. You just it's just like the character doesn't have to have the end of the story at the end of the campaign. You know, you can always continue it through references or even like cameos, that kind of stuff, or crossovers even. Like you can do crossover sessions between two different campaign worlds and have two groups of people meet and play with each other for a random chance. That would be very interesting. Hmm. That's fair. That's fair. The intricacies of making the civilizations in a world is fairly fun, and Goblin likes both. Really, they're both fun. Like Goblin has loved what Goblin has done with Goblin's Tabletop RPG project. Like Goblin has made. Has Goblin told you about the City of Jewel Suite yet, or anyone in general? Goblin waits for eternity. Okay, so yeah, both are fun indeed. And so the City of Jewel Suite is basically a kingdom within Goblin's project world, which Goblin is also Chop the Meme, that whole campaign that Goblin just talked about, how Group 1, the Grand Lich is from, all that. It's all in the same world of Goblin's project. And the Kingdom of Jewel Suite is pretty cool, because it's like the idea of Candyland, but edgy. And they sell sweets to people outside But everyone within are not made of sweets. No, not like they're not made of candy sweets, but they are people that are. How's Goblin put this? They love making sweets and are very competitive. Like I was trying to remember, if Jewel Sweet's a flooded city and it's underwater, an edgy underwater candy land. Was that Jewel Sweet, or was that a different kingdom that Goblin's thinking of? Goblin's made way too many kingdoms for Goblin's project, so Goblin has mixed them up at times, etc. But yeah, basically it's a very unique kingdom where basically it is the provider, one of the so many providers of candy throughout the entire world of Goblin's project, and a lot of people compete to get those sweets because Jewel Sweet has some of the best sweets out there in the entire world. They make money from making sweets to all the other kingdoms. So people love their sweets. You revealed a plot twist prematurely? What? Okay. Now Goblin wants to hear this story, Polish Bones. How in the world did you do that? How did you do that? What plot twist? Oh, and you accidentally revealed that the guy was missing. Okay, Goblin gets what it is. Okay. Dang. That was a fumble. Yeah, that would be pretty anticlimactic. That's why Goblin always makes sure what names Goblin is saying before Goblin gives names. Because that is an important detail when it comes to lore, baby. The Goblin finds it funny that kind of mistake happens. That is funny. The Goblin has made still great mistakes as well. But yeah, other than that, Goblin's just gonna be here relaxing really and just spending the day sitting around, saying this, chatting with whoever wants to chat. And what mistake did you make that was bigger? What? There's if that's not a major mistake plot point, then what in the world did you forget or mess up? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that would suck. Yeah. Ah. Oh. Oh. Hmm. Okay, you know what? Polished Bones, Goblin. Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. Wait, what? Okay, now Goblin wants what? How did the Goblin voice sound? Goblin wants to know what kind of Goblin voice did you do? No, Goblin. No. No. Like this, with a super high pitch like this. I like this. Goblin saw it. Goblin dealt with it. That is a stupid one to block. Like this. I said like this. I like this. Goblin cannot pull off that kind of voice. Gosh dang it, that is. Ah. Hmm. Well, that was very interesting. So, you know what? Goblin wants to know, Polish Bones, because it's out of curiosity. Do you think you have any people that you know that are one, okay with live streaming D&D, and two, would be interested in something like 3.5? Do you think you know anyone? Like, Goblin knows. Like, Goblin feels bad because Goblin hopes Misty is having fun watching Goblin's aftermath videos of Goblin's D&D sessions, because she did ask out on Twitch once. Or, no, Twitter. Like, looking for D&Ds to watch after her games can be played. Hmm. Okay, thank you, because in all honesty, Goblin still wants to do the Friday groups. In all honesty, Goblin still wants to do the Friday group. And Goblin is desperate for players at this point. Like, even one player. One player would be enough, because then Goblin knows someone else that is still technically from the second group that would want to play still. And it's just been, because he's the only guy showing up, he has not been able to play, really. Goblin could message him immediately and let him know that Goblin has found someone finally that hopefully would stick around. Goblin hopes. But, yeah. Yeah, that's fair, and that's absolutely fine, Polish Bones, if you do not have the time for Friday games. Like, Goblin gets it if people just say no because they don't have time. It's just like, at times, because when Goblin's searching around for players, at times it feels like that players just treat Goblin like an idiot or a bad DM, because things like, sorry. It's just Goblin's been feeling bad about it recently because it's been hard trying to get the group going. But, yeah. Yeah, really, if you can find anyone that would be willing to let Goblin know and just give Goblin a way to contact them and talk about you. Like, no, Goblin gets that you're busy. Like, Goblin, clarify this. Goblin gets that you're busy. And if you didn't have time to, like, Goblin, it's those like you who are, like, up front that they don't have time. That Goblin's like, yeah, you know what, that's fair. Those who are not, and those who just run away after the session goes bad, or keep leaving, or ditching, or downright just joining for one game or two, and then leave immediately without even saying a word. Those are the ones that Goblin's like, okay, really? But Goblin. So, Goblin gets those the most popping up in Goblin's life. And it probably gives Goblin, like, makes Goblin look bad when Goblin has those type of players so much that Goblin goes and asks again for players. So that's why probably in Respawn Point, no one expressed interest because they probably thought I was some weirdo. So it makes Goblin feel bad. Oh, you have to go. Well, very well. Thank you, Polish Bones, and thank you for chatting with Goblin, and thank you for hearing. Oh, wait, is there supposed to be a thing that Goblin sets up for that? Gosh dang it. Go on. Just see you later, Polish. Okay. So one Goblin needs to learn how to set those lurk things. Apparently, like, how's Goblin set the lurk command? on Discord. Or Twitch. Gosh damn it. On brain. But yeah. Right. So Goblin's debating. Goblin really needs to get into a more healthy mindset right now because things has just been dragging down Goblin's mental health, but life happens. Just gets a bit hard when it continues to happen bad. Oh wait, Goblin Zombie Ride's music has not been playing this entire gosh dang every time. There we go. Music back, there we go. Oh yeah, Goblin should be promoting Goblin Strain. Technically speaking. Yeah. Goblin should go and promote really quick, see if anyone wants to come say hello. Goblin just talking. Goblin can let. Goblin can do it. Who else can Goblin do it with? That'd be reasonable. Probably no one else did it, probably. Well, Goblin did promotions and all that, so Goblin's just gonna sit around and laugh about something. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, Goblin made a remark on a satire post, and it's probably one of Goblin's most popular tweets in a while. Should Goblin give spoilers about something that's coming out? Nah, probably not. Not yet, at least. Goblin just saying of chatting, do-da. Goblin just saying of do-da-do-da-day. Goblin hanging out, do-da-do-da. Goblin hanging out, do-da-do-da-day. Nice. Alright, you know what? Goblin's gonna go on dating app now. Goblin's dating, let's see. Okay, keep looking go. Shared interests are creative and cooking. Okay. Apparently don't like working out with your legs. Probably not the goal for Goblin. Goblin actually likes running over weightlifting, etc. When Goblin saw the word baddie, Goblin thought that was baldy. Like, Goblin's not bald. Can you not see Goblin's fabulous hair, lady? Goblin has such fabulous hair. Does not. Goblin hopefully has fabulous hair. Anyway, Wobbling aside. So. And Goblin's not bald. Thank you. Perfect for me. Goblin's not getting any indication that you enjoy Goblin's company, lady, so probably not. Okay, you like Marvel. Okay, Goblin appreciates that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Goblin likes that. Oh, that's a cool pitch. Goblin's confused. Why are you calling this fish your son? What? Goblin eats the seafood a lot, so Goblin wants to know how to feel about that. Ha. Okay, love language outdoors. You're not gonna get along with Goblin. Oof. Let's see. Broken arm. That's a way to introduce yourself. Okay, nice. It's shared interests. Hmm. These are very interesting. Very interesting. Yes, goblins on dating app board, so you have nothing else to do, so deal with goblins rambling about dating. Hmm. Goblin doing dating, do da do da. Goblin looking for dates, do da do da day. Okay, she likes fancy, that's cool. Obsessive reading, that's not bad. Hawaii visit. Still probably too much for nerd for her. So, what? Polish, you all the way back? Dang. Gollum just began swiping on dating app already, and you are already back. That's when Gollum can find a date. This one's an interesting one. Yeah, probably not. 37 degrees. Is that Celsius or Fahrenheit? Because that does affect how it's perceived. Yeah, that's not a good idea. The pants and a t-shirt in 37 in Fahrenheit at least. Now, okay, so that's Celsius. That is pretty cold. Okay, that is. It's a fair cold. Goblins is still chicken. Logic and goblins. 3 Celsius. So 37 Fahrenheit is 3 Celsius, is what you're saying. Goblins just double checking, right? Yeah, that's cold. Dang. Goblin wish it was that cold already. Where Goblin's at. Because although Goblin's from the frozen jungle, right now it's not that cold. Ah, okay, that's an interesting way of looking at things. Okay. Wait, that math feels off. But if it's like I was gonna do a calculation. Fahrenheit to Celsius. So let's see here. You said 37. You're a little okay, no, you're very close. You just rounded up. Okay, fair enough. Goblin trapped in America, you fool. Goblin does it in Fahrenheit, so that's why Goblin was asking, because Goblin thought it was Goblin brain's being fried, because Goblin's just understanding a conversation. Alright, let's go, let's see. Okay. We'll just go with someone that makes her laugh. Mm. Mm. Yeah, it's very interesting. Let's see here. She works in therapy. Okay. She wants someone that matches her emotionally, intellectually, and that kind of stuff. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, definitely too far away though, sadly, for the day. So she loves her outdoor pictures. She definitely some. Okay, so in the Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Star Trek as well. Okay, that's some pretty interesting nerd stuff. Reading a good book, listening to music, or hanging out with my nephews. Okay, interesting. Goblin's on dating app right now trying to get a date. So Goblin's saying if any girl really seems like okay, she likes her items, brother. Okay, that dress alone, yep, Goblin's Yep, that's a swipe up. Because that's a nerdy dress for fantasy stuff. Yes, actually. Oh, wait, why does the music stop, actually? Wait, why does the music stop? It's supposed to... Oh, gosh, dang that. There. The music should loop now, and Goblin keeps forgetting to pay attention to what the loop button is. Ah. Yeah, Goblin would love if you could send it to Goblin a voice recording of what broke your voice for that Goblin voice. That would actually be funny. Oh, she's in the game. She's in the board games. She's creative, apparently, and she likes writing. She loves books. Okay, Goblin. Okay. Goblin, interested now. Okay, Goblin loves the fact that she likes the snow. She's been on the news. Okay. You know what? Goblin's gonna actually update Goblin's profile. Because Goblin now has a job. Yep. Okay. Goblin's gonna pause the music here, everyone. We're gonna hear Polish Bone as long as Polish Bone approves. We'll all hear the voice of the silly Goblin. Do you approve, Polish Bones? For the entire internet to hear the silly voice. Ah. Very well. Goblin will play it then from the Discord. Bing.
So this is the voice of the goblin that took my voice.
Oh, Goblin loved that voice. Oh, gosh, that was funny. Oh, Goblin. Goblin found it too funny. That was too funny. That was. Oh, Goblin. He's so happy, Goblin. Yes, okay. So Go is gonna like this Go. Yeah. So Goblin's on dating app right now trying to get a date while live streaming. So let's see if she likes those type of things. Yes. Love the snow. Goblin's gonna see if Goblin can get her to sweat. Okay, you want Goblin to rate the Goblin voice. Okay, yeah, okay. So in terms of tone, it's definitely on the silly side of Goblin personalities out there, which is well executed. And pitchiness is definitely high for such a small creature, which fits. And the way you can just feel the gremlin energy is definitely there, but it needs a little, like, Goblin's trying to think of how, like, Goblin would adjust it. Like, it needs a bit more growl in there. Like this, a little more growl to represent the insanity of the grand Goblin culture. Just that little graveliness would improve it in Goblin's opinion. So, yeah, 8 out of 10. Goblin just doesn't do that graveliness too much because it's... yeah. She's some of the words that just like... it blocks off words that could potentially be used incorrectly, but doesn't read the context around them. So, yeah, Goblin just feels bad for you because that one was... ooh, wait, this goes into D&D? and is romantic and likes fantasy. Goblin's looking at whatever else, likes Harry Potter, likes Lord of the Rings, that's approved. Goblin's yet to see Berlin, but that's cool. Oh, she's been to the Hobbiton in Montana, New Zealand. That is cool. And she looks pretty cool too. Yeah, Goblin's gonna swipe yes on her. Yeah, so with that aside, and Goblin double checking what's happening, need to learn, everything's operational. Goblin's just double checking what's happening, blah blah. Yeah, this is a nice stream just to relax, chat, and enjoy life. Goblin's having fun just blabbering whatever's on Goblin's mind. Yeah. That is understandable. Alright, you know what? Should Goblin just ask Twitter for advice on dating or even Goblin's chat? That would be hilarious to see how people react to the idea of Goblin just asking for advice on guys. That would be hilarious to see what people say. Following on to another Goblin. Okay. Okay, nice and scratch there. He likes chocolate, that's respectable. I don't know what's that. Okay, following on the Goblin, no, not really signs of various. Alright, that's right. Charisma, huh? That's fair enough. There's a reason Goblin, like, if Goblin got preferred class setup of what Goblin would be a ranger / sorcerer that specializes in magical arrow damage and that kind of stuff. Yeah, actually, Goblin needs to double check what was it. Goblin's gonna look up very quick. Prestige. Class. Good for sorcerer. And ranger. 3.5. Let's see what Goblin can find on that actually. Yeah, but charisma is not Goblin's dump stat. Goblin needs good charisma, dex, and yeah. Really? Okay, in real life, Goblin would probably be Barbarian. Because Goblin has, in real life, a fierce temper that, I mean, even like Goblin's like insane professor, Goblin has gotten mad with her, not outright saying it, but like, Goblin had to inform Goblin's parents, so here's an actual story that Goblin has had to do a few times. In Goblin's life, Goblin has had to go tell Goblin's parents, hey, Goblin needs to go in Goblin's Goblin's bathroom and scream at the top of the Goblin's lungs. And yeah, Goblin just short 40. Yeah. But anyway, basically, in real life, Goblin was screaming on the top of Goblin's lungs in the bathroom once Goblin shut the door because of how insane Goblin's professor was. Goblin's guessing the Kobold died. Kobold Barbarian died. Really? That is what happened? Was it bad players, or was he not able to handle it? Or she, actually, he or she. But yeah, if not in real life, Goblin would probably be, the Ranger / Sorcerer build. Like, Goblin loves that, so. Oh, just decided it was not for them. Okay, nothing bad happened. Okay, that's reasonable then, that's reasonable. Yeah, that's reasonable. Actually, Goblin wants to know, has Polished Bones, like, what systems have you played, actually? Goblin does want to know this. Like, have you played 3.5? Have you played any editions other than 5e? Or the 2024 one? That kind of stuff? This is a very interesting topic to Goblin. Okay, what have you played then? Goblin is curious. Because Goblin knows D&D is not the only tabletop RPG out there, so it's interesting to hear what systems have been played out there, because Goblin's like played Savage Worlds. Has yet to try out Pathfinder. Goblin is interested in doing so. But yeah, those kind of things. Oh, Warhammer, Call of Cthulhu. Ooh. Last one I'm making. Okay. Goblin has played a Call of Cthulhu before, so that one's fun. Dragon Bane. Ooh, Goblin's not heard of that system. What's that system like? Goblin's curious. D&D and Warhammer had a child. What? Okay, you know what Goblin has to say is because you'll find this funny. Goblin just wants to tell you because you'll find this funny. Which Goblin loves the fact they can play as a duck. Okay, Goblin probably won't enjoy that then, personally, because if there's one thing Goblin has learned, is that anything that is more dark and depressing than, like a close to Warhammer-like stuff, Goblin, yeah, it's not good for Goblin's mental health. No. But, like, Goblin's likes more hopeful stories, that kind of stuff. But, okay. But Goblin, like, wants just to say because it's funny. That is cool. Goblin definitely thinks that is funny. That's pretty cool. But Goblin actually has with Goblin's Tabletop RPG project. Goblin just wants you to know because it's pretty cool in Goblin's opinion. Goblin has an enemy stat block that's just a regular duck with a sword. That's good to know. But yeah, basically, Goblin has a stat block in Goblin's project for an enemy monster or an ally monster of a duck with a sword. That's all it is. It's just a normal duck with a sword. Well, I mean, that's not the weirdest thing Goblin has made in Goblin's project. It's pretty funny, though. Like, okay, so Goblin wants to tell you this. So Goblin has made a special... TPK to party! Oh, that's funny. But, so within Goblin's Tabletop RPG project, Goblin has a special section of undeads. Guess what they do? The special section of undead, called the Hirshia, are all different types that only appear on holidays. Holidays like Christmas. There's the Christmas Hirshia, there's the Valentine's Day Hirshias, there's the Easter Hirshia. Yes, those ones. Goblin loves them because it's just a funny idea. Just suddenly... Yeah, oh really? Goblin forgets which things Goblin has told about. Like, has Goblin talked about the Fear Dragons yet? Or the Backstabber Dragons? But Goblin forgets things. It's been so long since Goblin has gotten a chance to interact with people. The Fear Dragon or the Backstabber Dragon? Which one? Okay. So Goblin has made the Fear Dragon. The Fear Dragon is basically like... Okay, you know what? Goblin's gonna actually get something set up here, so... Give Goblin a second, because this is the best way Goblin describes it. Yeah, that works. So Goblin will find... Yeah, this one will do. This picture does. Does it? So Goblin's going to share Goblin's screen for a sec here, so Goblin's going to transition back and forth. This just helps Goblin describe what Goblin is thinking of, and so... Okay. So Goblin's just looking for it. Here we are. And it's down there, okay. Oh wait, Goblin's gonna be in the way, so Goblin's gonna grab Goblin himself. So imagine this catnap as a dragon. That's basically the Fear Dragon. Yeah, so Goblin's just gonna put that away now. Wait, Goblin needs to switch things back around. Oh wait, Goblin got the wrong thing. Yeah, sorry. Goblin is... It's been a bit. There we go, model. Back over here. Yeah. Goblin, so the Fear Dragon basically is just a very skinny, bony-like dragon that, basically lets out this gas that basically lets them feed on the nightmares of people, and they're always starving. They're always like this. They never look like they fully eat properly, but they're always eating. And so they have to feast on the nightmares of people all the time, or they die. And yeah, they're very creepy to say the least. And then they often like hide, and some like I was gonna tell you something. There is a town and a city in the or a small city out there in the world that Goblin has planned in Goblin's project. It gives them their worst fears slash semi-worst fears, depending on like how much they want to feed on that person's nightmares. Because if they do feed too much, the person would die, and they don't want that food to die. They don't want to kill people with overloading them with nightmares. So they actually try their best to not overfeed. That is something a goblin should clarify, probably, within the lore. But, basically, also, with Fear Dragons, there is an entire city that deliberately lives peacefully with these Fear Dragons and lets them eat their nightmares all the time. And it's just become a symbiotic relationship because they have nightmares anyway, so they just let them eat them. It makes it so they can actually sleep. It's a very cool lore Goblin has planned for that town. Like, Goblin needs to refine it a bit more, but it's pretty, like, interesting that a like, Goblin wants to make it clear, because what Goblin wants to do is make Goblin's whole project world stand out. Yeah, the children just casually have their nightmares eaten by Fear Dragons, yeah. Just, like, they're used to it. They're used to having baggy eyes. They're used to being constantly exhausted. It's a casual Tuesday for them. Yeah, but the Goblin wants to make a point here. What Goblin wants to make a point of with, like, even the Fear Dragons, with all these fantasy creatures, like, sure, there are some that are usually just downright pure evil. There are some that just, there's hardly any good ones among them. But Fear Dragons, Goblin's supposed to be a representation of they don't have any choice in being this evil. They don't really get a say because of their own creation. Because Goblin wants to make a message that anyone within this world can be evil, no matter their race, and anyone can be good, no matter what their race is. And so basically, there's always these dualities of basically, like, even undead. Like, Goblin has plans for free-souled undead, that basically they're playable undeads, like skeletons and zombies, that are these skeletons and zombies with souls in their bodies and able to think and want to live, but are in this situation where basically it's a whole complicated issue that there's an undead kingdom even of good undead who have to make this new law and order thing to make it so they can, they're even trying to find a way to make it so they can populate. And so it's a whole unique world that Goblin needs to refine things for, but it's just, it's going to take a long while. This project of Goblin is planning to, because Goblin's just taking a day to take a day off from stressful work and stuff. Throughout this next few weekend fall break, Goblin's planning to dive in and try and work on the project quite a bit. Now, let's get to the Backstabber Dragons, because those ones, oh. So, yeah, you want Polish Bones. If you want to, and if your family is interested, you can playtest. Like, Goblin is actually looking for people that have time and are willing to help Goblin. Like, Goblin needs to fix some things first before Goblin has you playtest, because there's some major things that need to be fixed. Yes, please. Alright, Goblin will talk about it with you later, but first Goblin needs to fix the organization, the structure, because, like, okay, so to clarify a bit, because Goblin's not going to work on it today, but, a bit of the issue with Goblin's project is that if you were going to read it, one issue immediately is that it tells you chance of death. So basically it's telling you right away how you die, and Goblin has learned from some advice that is not a good thing to have right away. So Goblin needs to move where the chance of death is for new players, but also reorganize things. The Monster Manual is not the worrying one, it's the player's handbook. Yeah. It's the player's handbook that needs a lot fixing. Like, the Monster Manual definitely needs some readjustments, but, like, Goblin needs to reorganize, basically to make it so the rules of combat and all stuff pop up first, and words are bolded, and basically it's easier to find things. That's what Goblin needs to do first, and so that's a major issue of Goblin's project right now, is Goblin just needs to restructure it in a way where it's better organized, to make it easier for people to find stuff. And so, after that, and also Goblin has been given advice to basically make it so certain classes are playtest first in an order, and then do other ones to give them set waves and stuff. So, like, Goblin's gonna pull up the list here just so you know what set, like, classes that... And Goblin's gonna still talk about the Backstabber Dragon. Goblin's not forgetting about that. Let's see here. Where's that list? Here we are. So first, here are the waves of playtesting, so you know what Goblin would like playtest in order. So firstly, playtest the Fighter, Cleric, Sorcerer, and Rogue. Yeah, Goblin will actually make sure to probably give you a mini manual of just the basic classes first. But then, the second wave, Goblin's just letting you know the wave of classes that Goblin will playtest, so you'll be playing the Fighter, Cleric, Sorcerer, and Rogue first. But, the second wave of playtesting will be Barbarian, Druid, Arbonite, which is the Wizard, and Ranger. Third wave is the second wave is the Barbarian, Druid, Arbonite, and Ranger. And the third wave is Buccaneer, Warlock, Paladin, Death Knight. Yes, Goblin has a Death Knight class. Goblin is cool. Goblin will not add Witch yet. Goblin's been so tempted to add the Witch. Goblin will add it in the next book. But, and then the final set of classes is Artificer, Monk, Music Man / Woman, and Speeder. Or Speedster, maybe better to say. Yeah, Goblin may change to the Speedster, because people will understand that better. Yeah, basically Goblin's making so you can play the Flash. Goblin's insane. So, Music Man / Woman is the Bard. The reason why is because Goblin's doing a reference meme to MatPat. Goblin's not changing it because it's a funny one. Because it's funny to reference MatPat. So Goblin will forever have that be Music Man. And Goblin's just gonna try and do it in MatPat's voice again, so... Music Man / Woman! Goblin... no, Goblin cannot do MatPat's voice for the life of Goblin. Goblin's not that good of a voice actor. Yeah, it's a very funny reference. Goblin loves it. But yeah. Oh, Goblin's getting a message. That's just that. Cool. Anyway, so Goblin's just waiting some information. That is tempting. But that won't fit the world for the regular bear. Because here's the thing, if you think Goblin's not planning to add animatronics into the world, you are a fool, Polished Bones. Goblin already has a campaign setting set around the idea of horrors like Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, you don't even know the most of it. That's not the most insane stuff that Goblin's adding. Do you want to play as a battle droid? A B1 battle droid? Goblin can't call it that though, but they call it Droidicas. You know, like Star Wars droids? You can play flank. Yes, now back to the Backstabber Dragon, before Goblin gets any more excited about Goblin than Sandy. Although the Backstabber Dragon is pretty cool. So basically, the Backstabber Dragon. It's a dragon that is very small. It still gets the same size, but it's the smallest in its size category of all dragons. Do not give... No, Goblin tomatoes. But anyway, it has blades all over its back and on its any joint point it has. The Backstabber Dragon is literally covered in blades. And it's all about backstabbing you. Even its breath weapon is about backstabbing you. Because it breathes out daggers. Just a breath wall of daggers. That's the Backstabber Dragon. Just a terrifying walking weapon of knives. And breathes knives. But yeah, Goblin understands you're typing out the idea so you don't forget to write the D&D tonight. Well, yeah, I mean, you're hearing Goblin's insanity. Like, Goblin hasn't even gone to the Void Dragon. Goblin hasn't gone to any of the other, like, the Liar Dragon, the Dragon of Lies, the Dragons of Truths, the Dragon of Magic's gonna be fun. Oh, Dragon of Chivalry, that dragon's so cool in Goblin's mind. Like, Goblin has a lot of dragons, if you can't tell. And a lot of monsters. Just a lot of monsters. Yep. They are indeed. Like, it's been so fun to even make these dragons because of how Goblin's world works. That it's just made it so there's so many cool things. Oh, Goblin even hadn't told you what got Goblin wanting to make a project. There was an idea that Goblin had, that Goblin basically... It was a spark one day of curiosity after Goblin had D&D game happen, and Goblin used a unique enemy called Crystal Skeletons in a campaign. And although it didn't go as Goblin went, Goblin just realized the idea doesn't work within the setting of D&D, and Goblin just went and looked through, like, thinking about what kind of worlds or settings or systems that could work, and Goblin realized if Goblin was just at the full capacity to unleash Goblin's insanity and fun, to unleash the full potential of these type of creatures, like the Crystal Skeletons, Goblin just make Tabletop RPG then. And that's what Goblin did. So, what Goblin has been working on has been, like, for years now, and the Crystal Skeletons are what started it. And basically, Crystal Skeletons, oh, they drain your soul from your body after they crystallize you and imprison you in a crystal cell. Crystal Skeletons are like a hive mind of evil that basically go around draining souls and turn your ground to crystal, turn your walls to crystal, turn your bones to crystal, and turn you into a crystal skeleton after your soul is drained from your body. That's creepy, right? That should be creepy, at least in theory. Wait, is that a Crystal Skeleton SF? Seriously? Goblin thought that was... no! Goblin didn't know! No! Man! Really? Goblin thought that was original. Flipping gosh dang nabbit. Okay, thank you, because Goblin was like worried, flip, is there gonna be legal issues or something, or someone upset that Goblin stole idea without Goblin meaning to? Because Goblin's not the type of guy to take someone else's idea without even remarking or making it clear that Goblin got inspiration from this. Like, Goblin would acknowledge it. Like, Goblin has totally got inspiration from Undertale to add a whole underground area where entire magic monster civilization is trapped underground by a magic barrier. Goblin's totally not doing that in the future in the world. Okay, so it's not a crystal skeleton, it's just a regular crystal. No, they encase you, so you don't explode when you get... So they encase you in crystal, and then drain your soul from it and turn you into a crystal skeleton and all that. Yeah. That's good to know, that's good to know. You know what? No one's thinking here. Let's see here. Yeah, as you can see, Goblin has thought about this a lot and has worked on a lot. Sure, send it in. Goblin's curious what you have in mind and what is the insanity that Goblin's about to read. A wall of text. So this is Goblin's quoting Polished Bones here. So I had an idea where at some point I would give my players a magical orb from some wizard / artificer. The orb would watch and learn from the players to eventually make an AI, arcane intelligence, to control an army of constructs made in the party image. The party would have to fight robots that are like all of them combined into one, but a whole army. And they have to use their own tactics against them. That's the idea I had. Okay, so Goblin wants to tell you this Polished Bones. That actually sounds really cool. That is actually really clever. One, Goblin has to make a few remarks though, because one, in order for that to work, you would have to, one, make sure they're high enough level where it would make sense for a wizard to want to copy them and make an AI intelligence after all their fighting styles. And two, you would have to make sure they're not too high enough level where they would realize that's what the orb's doing. So you have to find a proper middle ground of a level point where the wizard would be intelligent enough to know who to give it to, and that they would know that they would not detect what was happening. So those are the two major factors that would interfere with that idea. And it can work, it can. You just have to be careful with execution. Goblin wants to tell you something, Polished Bones, from experience. Goblin knows you're probably a fairly experienced EM, but somehow there's always a way they'll throw you off. They'll always find a way to throw you off and just do something unexpected. The Goblin gets what you mean. In theory, it should work pretty well in the end. Yeah. Oh, after okay, that's a clever way to hide it. Okay, cool. Yep. Improvision. Like, Goblin's just wondering, Polished Bones, how much of my campaigns have you seen thus far, like my Goblins 2 D&D groups that Goblin has had on Fridays and Saturdays? Like, Goblin's been at a D&D session tomorrow, but, how much have you seen of it? Oh, that is sad. Okay. You know what? Goblin just wants to make sure you don't spoil, and hopefully no one else has spoiled this, because this would ruin a lot of details. So, what Goblin does when Goblin's a DM, and if you want to rewatch and know what's happening within the world, Goblin has them all on the live area of Goblin's YouTube, where you can go back and watch all the sessions. Goblin can probably make a playlist of all the sessions in the past, and just make it so you can go and watch them all. God will probably do that. But yeah, Goblin basically gives the base premise of what would happen in the quest and some details and things and all that, but then improvises everything else. Like, Goblin gives the base idea, the base live events, and what's supposed to happen, what some major details or core aspects, and then improvises everything else. So Goblin does a mix of just having constant information needing to be done anyway, while having the base idea of what's supposed to happen. Because Goblin trying to balance out college life while doing D&D and doing even a job in the future here will be a bit hard to do. So to balance it out, Goblin makes it so Goblin has plenty of time to have the base idea here and the base setup and the base core characteristics of the characters planned. And then, what's supposed to happen in the quest, what are some details or things that may affect what happens, and then just improvise to make it so Goblin doesn't have to stress too much about every detail. And if Goblin gets something wrong at some point, or does something that breaks canon, if someone points it out, Goblin will correct it. Goblin does not mind being corrected. Yeah. It is a very well done methodology because it makes it so you can adapt fairly easily to your players' antics. Because, Goblin definitely learned, because here's the thing. Goblin learned right off the bat after Goblin's first, D&D. So Goblin did a playtest session with Goblin's family. And because of how everything was so set in ideas and concept, that's because Goblin was an experienced DM, it was so weird. But Goblin as an experienced DM, running a campaign book and knowing the details of what was supposed to happen, that Goblin just could not handle reacting naturally to the things that were happening. Doing it campaign book and just doing it straight from the book is so weird. Goblin actually struggled a bit during that play test in the campaign setting. It's always so interesting seeing how those type of things are done, experiencing both, because both have the ups and downs. It's good for first time DMs to use a campaign book exactly as it is, but yeah, that kind of stuff. You know what? Polish, would you like to hear Cinemax sing? Would you like to hear Cinemax sing? Told by DM. Goblin's gonna tell you a Cinemax sing. Does that make sense? Very good. Goblin wants to practice the singing anyway. Because... interesting. But, yeah. So let's get started. The ground crumbles around you as you look up at the mountain that you are heading to meet with your guide. You realize that you were too late as you ran out of time. And the entire mountain crumbles and collapses. It's breaking away as a barrier bounces the rocks towards the outer side as it doesn't crush in itself. As an entire arm of metal grabs onto a rocky edge, lifting up slowly. And pulling up as gears sound, and the sound of the whirling of the machines being made under that mountain. You realize that that goblin tribe has finally done what they told. They made their walking weapon. And as a gigantic metal leg and leaves out of the ruined mountain, becoming a crumbling tomb. You see an entire civilization, an entire city, with metal arms and legs looking made of rusted copper, as an entire city walks towards the kingdom you came from. Goblin hasn't named it yet. and is now making its way over to wipe out that civilization and make a rise of the new Goblin Empire. And that's the cinematic scene. So, Goblin wants to clarify. This is for a certain event in a quest line in Goblin's project world of New Earth. It's the campaign setting of the Rise of Goblins, which when Goblin finishes all the books, that will be one of the scenes in the book. And so Goblin wants to clarify. The goblins are seen as mindless during this time period of the world of New Earth. Let Goblin clarify that. But they're actually secretly a tribal-like people that have advanced to technology in some tribes. And right now, all the goblin tribes that live underground and hide and have their whole secret underground system, unknown to the rest of society, for all the other species, have been debating whether or not they can coexist peacefully with the surface people, or even like all the other monster races. Because during this time period right now, the Slayer group, a discriminatory organization that wants to wipe out anything that is not human, dwarf, elf, gnome. Those are the only 4 races that are allowed to exist because they're humanoid enough. They're the core races in their mind, and all the others just deserve to be wiped out. The Slayer group are psychos, basically. And in a way it is, but a lot more bulky, and it's an entire city. It's an entire city to body, other than the legs and the arms. And basically, one of the tribes, the most technological tribe of goblins, have been outraged and been fed up with their mistreatment, that they've been arguing for all the goblin tribes to uprise and basically fight against the surface dwellers and take over and basically make their civilization by force, make it so they have to accept them. Because they think there's no other way to do it. Because humanity and all the other races seem to not willing to accept them as people. And so, a lot of the other tribes, depending on how the players react, may deny it, or even some will join. But basically in the end, no matter what, it's gonna happen, eventually the technological tribe is going to snap and just have this entire mech that they were planning to prepare for ages to basically walk up and take over this kingdom by force and force people to accept them and basically cause a potential risk for a huge war between a lot of kingdoms and civilizations. Basically, Goblin's planning, if things go as Goblin, in the end, Goblin plans for the ending scene to be either a war between 5 armies or 20 armies. So, that's the story of the rise of goblins. It's basically them debating on what to do to gain fair treatment in the world of humanity and all the humanoid species, a right to live on New Earth. How's that all sound? Yep. And so basically it's a whole complex issue. I mean, even the Slayer group. Goblin makes sure you guys meet the Slayer group right away. Okay? Goblin loves the first quest so much. Basically, the Slayer group basically are in this area, this little village, where basically Goblin just loves it because the way you introduce them, basically either you fail absolutely stopping them, and they kill 2 orc children, and get away with murdering a boatload of civilians after you take them out, and the civilians kick you out after failing to help them, or you manage to do everything right as your party, and not only did you manage to, well, no, the Slayer group basically discriminates not just against goblins, but against orcs, Eluzia, Berlin, which, by the way, Eluzia and Berlin, two original races in Goblins Project, Polish, but, and basically the Slayer group are basically bullet psychos that kill anyone that isn't human, no, elf, and dwarf. Yeah. They basically see all races as inferior. So that makes sense. Okay, so the reason that the Slayer group see themselves as the original races. That's what they say. So the humans, dwarves, elves, and gnomes, the Slayer group sees the four of them as the original races. They see themselves as the original races and see themselves as superior to all the others, and all the others should be wiped out. That is why the Slayer group is, well, seen as psychotic. I mean, they burned two orc children alive and killed them over a fireplace. So, I think that tells you enough how psychotic they are. But yeah, the Slayer group, then, other than just that, so, if you manage to spoil everything, you basically do the 3 things you need to do in the right order. You basically end up having a party, the town thanks you, you stop the winter, you save the people, and you even reveal the truth of some issues now, and things are less bad and horrible. But then, come knocking on the wall, and then breaking the town wall down, the town wall door down, came in 5 people on horses. And the one in the middle is the most important. A human man in this armor of coldness and metal. You realize it's a Death Knight. A human Death Knight. Yeah, Goblin would definitely see him be a part of the Slayer group, and a lot of people would see him as evil and psychotic. Because those guys are sickos in the Goblin's world. But, continuing. So you're saying he committed cannibalism of a goblin. Oh wait, no, goblins not the same race as, whatever race he is, probably. So he committed eating of an innocent, intelligent creature like him. Oh, of course he's a werewolf, of course, that makes sense. But yeah, basically, this Death Knight leader basically makes it clear he does not like the party, and he just belittles them all. He will belittle them in the best way possible he knows. He calls out their weaknesses. He'll call out the town. And basically, anyone that would technically he would allow in his Slayer group, he would basically tell them, join us, saving these kind of people. Dragon Bane thing, okay. Basically, he'd tell them, just join us, do not waste your time on such pathetic lowlives. And basically, if there's a Death Knight in the party, and they are human or any of the original races, but they still deny him, like any Death Knight that isn't original race or denies him, he will basically take the Death Knight weapon that Death Knight has by force and shatter it with his bare hand. Let Goblin clarify here. Goblin was clarified when it comes to Death Knight weapons in Goblin's project. Death Knight weapons are way more durable than normal weapons, because they are bonded to the Death Knight. That means they are increased by the Death Knight's magical abilities and uniqueness. That basically makes it so it's like an enchanted weapon without it actually being enchanted, giving it some special abilities and effects, and a huge increase to durability. And the fact is that he takes the weapon and just shazz it like nothing with his bare hand. That's meant to show how bad and dangerous this man is, the leader of the Slayer group. And that's his introduction for a level 1 to 5 quest. How is that? Wait, the Lord's here? What? A Lord's here? Where? So, he is BBEG. Goblin's gonna clarify, he is a BBEG. But he's not the BBEG of this campaign book. So Goblin wants to clarify here. When it comes to Goblin's plan for the different waves and all that of creative stuff, because Goblin has so many ideas that Goblin in reality cannot release them all at once. So Goblin has to get some of them done, release them, and then get more done, etc. Thank you for the head pats. But that aside, in order for Goblin to... Yeah, thank you. Goblin does like to the alphabet when Goblin gets a chance to about stuff. But when... Basically, the idea is, with this villain... Actually, yes, Goblin remembers his name. His name is General Jack. That is the name of this Death Knight, General Jack. But, basically, he is meant to be a villain of Wave 1. General Jack is the name of the Death Knight, of the leader of the Slayer group. Yeah, Jack. General Jack. But, he's meant to be the BBEG of the Wave 1 of content and books of stuff of Goblin's Project World. He's the first BBEG of an entire wave. Because, like, the way Goblin plans things is sure each campaign book will have their own BBEGs, but an entire wave of content will have the General Jack popping up multiple campaign books until... Well, the reason why he's called General Jack, it's because he's supposed to be jacked. But yeah, so with how the waves plan to be, if things go well with Goblin's project and Goblin gets to do more content after the first wave of books, basically what Goblin plans yeah, for him to just break a Death Knight's weapon casually. Yeah, it's that sensitive. But, Goblin would see him pooping their pants like a lot of parties would. You know what's funny? Goblin's cousin, when Goblin's cousin play tested this, her character was just mad that her Death Knight weapon was broken. Okay, Goblin's gonna make a joke here. This is a joke. Why are you gay? Who says I'm gay? You are gay. Sorry, Goblin finds that in that video so funny. Yeah, but so General Jack is meant to be the big BBG of BBGs for Wave 1. Yeah, okay, Goblin's gonna point out something, Polish Bones, because Goblin's gonna be honest here. Using homophobic, Goblin just finds that annoying, personally. Like, Goblin clarify. Why? Because phobia and phobic are meant to be fears of something. Like a fear of dogs, a fear of cats, a fear of the shadows, a fear of... And so, because of how its context is used now, because apparently people decided it, Goblin actually hugely disagrees why the people who use this word... Yeah, Goblin does not like it. Because like, Goblin believes there probably are people out there who do have a fear of gays, who do have a fear of trans people, because they can, some people can behave very poorly and do extreme stuff and hurt people that are of that background, and it makes them scared of you. People can have that kind of fear. It can happen. Like, in all honesty, Goblin, when Goblin was younger, when Goblin first learned of them, Goblin was terrified, actually, because for a time, Goblin could be said that Goblin had a bit of a fear of gays. Because Goblin went through some bullcrap. Goblin's just gonna say that and leave it at that. Goblin went through some pretty harsh stuff, and... yeah. So Goblin understands that you are gay. Goblin is not gay. Yeah, you are gay. Why are you gay? Goblin teasing. But just like the use of phobic just really doesn't make sense to a Goblin. It just annoys Goblin so much. So it slightly annoys you too, huh? Is that what Goblin's understanding? Okay, yeah, Goblin gets what you mean. It's just like, Goblin doesn't hate people who are gay and all that. Like, Goblin just wants to make that clear. Like, if you're gay, okay. If you're chill, Goblin making jokes about why are you gay, we're chill. And not Goblin's business, really. That's it. Is there really anything else Goblin can say that makes sense? Yeah, not everyone is chill about that kind of thing. Like, there's a... yeah, Goblin cannot talk about this kind of subject with anyone, really, because some people are just way overly sensitive about some things. And that's coming from Goblin, who is very emotional and unstable, and wants to burn the planet. Burn humans, burn! Oh wait, it's humans. Flippy flip-flops, Goblin's tired. But yeah, just to reinstate, General Jack is meant to be the villain of the entire first wave of books, because there's supposed to be more books even after the first 4 Goblin finishes. But wait, if Goblin manages to offend you, Polish Bones, Goblin gets a reward? Ooh, what could Goblin say that's really offensive? Ooh. Ooh. Goblin's too lazy to do that right now. Goblin doesn't want to think that hard. But yeah, that makes sense. You've been very chill. Chili beans. Chili beans. Chili beans. Gosh dang it, Goblin's getting hungry. It is around that time. Gosh dang it. Yeah, Goblin tries best. Goblin's, like, you can forgive someone. Like, Goblin's forgiven a lot of things for some people. That doesn't mean Goblin just forgets. Like, Goblin is like... yeah, this is around time that would be... Polish, you are required to go to bed right now, mister. Nope, no, Goblin not hearing no from you. Polish, bed, now. Ben. Right now. Right now. Ben. Bed to you. Sleep. Gosh, they never fall asleep. Oh no. Gosh dang it. You're not gonna go to bed anytime soon, are you? Well, Goblin done all Goblin good. You're an adult. You're gonna deal with the responsibilities of your actions and the consequences of your choices. Goblin can yap about dating. So... let's see, yeah, let's see here. So... wait, what? Polish, how old are you? Goblin doesn't market and all that. Like Goblin's not want to tell whether or not if you should people like around your age should watch Goblin. Like Goblin doesn't swear at all and all that. Like Goblin, it's just like such an annoying thing because like if Goblin ever got big, YouTube would probably just try and mark off Goblin's content. Like Goblin would have to do something to make it so that Goblin's okay with, to make it so Goblin isn't marked like for kids, because YouTube be like a wait, talking about burning children alive probably is enough of a reason with a story at least telling that kind of story to have children die. Yeah, but like Goblin's saying, like people who play Minecraft have to go and swear and do whatever, or show really bloody scenes just to make it so that videos aren't marked for kids. It's very annoying. And Goblin just doesn't want to be forced to give up Goblin's moral code to do that kind of thing. But yeah, let's see here. Other than that, yeah. God. Wait, Goblin recognizes that. Goblin forgets where. Where is that at to make it so? Goblin is saying that the gun of a day does not make a kids video. Oh shit! Yeah, Goblin remembers it from somewhere. Goblin just forgets where. Like, you have to realize, Goblin is a games major within Goblin's college, where Goblin's learning how to make video games. Goblin has acknowledged that Goblin has to pay attention to what the younger generation are doing and what kids are interested into these days. So Goblin has to pay attention to what's going on and what's been shown and what's popular. Goblin's not a fool to that. Goblin just, like, doesn't get it half the time because someone's just like, really? That'd be stupid humor. And that's coming from Goblin. With very stupid, Hume-like humor. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, Goblin's trying to remember what maybe there's other content creators that do similar stuff like that, but Goblin has seen that used in order to stop it being marked as a kid's video, yeah. Although Goblin does question, like, the YouTube system so often. Because, like, a major issue with Goblin has with YouTube is that the fact is they just do not handle the YouTube kids. Because Goblin wants to clarify to you, Polish Bones. Do not let kids watch YouTube Kids. Like, why is YouTube Kids has such the most inappropriate content for thumbnails, and yet it's just like, what the flip? Goblin's content isn't even this bad, and you're allowing this as YouTube Kids? The Goblin's brain just rages at YouTube for its stupidity. And it's ridiculous. Let's see here. Other than that, D&D stuff, project. Hey, Goblin wants to know, Polish Bones. Have you ever imagined a dragon fused with a knight? Yeah, that's what basically the Dragon of Chivalry is. Goblin just wanted to talk about that because the Dragon of Chivalry basically is a dragon that has its chest is literally like dragon scale shield. So it's like a shield crest symbol on its own chest, and its own tail is a sword. That's the Dragon of Chivalry, design wise. It's basically just a really big, knight, cool dragon with. Goblin forgets what breath weapon and Goblin give to Dragon of Chivalry. There's also. The Void Dragon's probably the most dangerous and psychotic of the evil dragons. What's your question, Polish Bones? A sandworm. No matter how much that sounds cool, Goblin does not have the space to add that for this monster manual. No. No, there is no sandworm. Oh, that would be so... Goblin has not added those. Look, Goblin has to add the Baba Yaga, Bigfoot, Hook, but the Loch Ness Monster. Goblin still has many dragons to finish. Goblin has to finish entire creatures that Goblin has yet to finish. There's, like, how many creatures are left? Goblin has to fix up some Oni issues on the player stat block for that. Gorgons to finish. Sirens to make. Like, there's so many monsters that Goblin have yet to finish. You know what? Do you want a bit of a spoiler of some stuff that Goblin has planned? Because for some monster stuff, it's actually pretty cool. Look, there's only so many creatures Goblin can do. Come on. Okay, so with some monsters, some of the monster stat blocks, if you go and look at them, some of them have like a special ability called like only one of them get those, like only one per species of that creature have it. Like number 19, let's say. And let's say whatever creature it is, it's like a wolf. There's only one wolf in the entire world that has number 19 on it. And it gives it a special ability. Ability that all our wolves do not get. No one understands it yet, and no one knows how it functions or why it does what it does. But what makes it so fun for Goblin, that ability idea, is that basically Goblin's planning for numbers 1 to 100 of all sorts of different creatures, of all sorts of different monsters. And they all get unique abilities and upgrades to their capabilities from these numbers on them. And even if they pass away, even if they die, a new one takes its place. A new one is given that number when it's born. Wonder what Goblin has planned for that? Creatures with numbers on them? Hello, Abyss. Seems like Goblin's been left in silence as the void consumes. everything around. So, if it goes extinct, one will be magically reborn. So, species that have a number creature will never go extinct. Nah, you're fine. Your typing's fine. But yeah, so they never go extinct fully if they have a number creature. If one exists that has number, basically it's magically reborn. And it's alright if your typing's getting slow. But, Goblin's gonna get into it because it's quite fun. So Goblin plans, because Goblin's taking inspiration here for these creatures. Goblin wants to know if you ever... No, it's not X-Men. It's numbers 1 to 100 and they get special... No. Goblin's idea is inspired by... Dramatic drum roll, please. Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. If you know what Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal is, or if you don't, that's understandable. Yu-Gi-Oh! So Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal is basically, well, it's the fourth installment of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show and introduced Zexal summoning, or basically a unique summoning system for a card game of Yu-Gi-Oh! But basically, there were these number monsters. And they were very strange and mysterious. And there was only one of them ever for each number. In the world of the lore, at least, of Yu-Gi-Oh! The show. And basically, Goblin found them really cool. Because in the end, when all 100 were gathered together, they basically summoned, or brought to being, revealed the Numeron code. The Numeron code is basically this no restricted wish granting and reality warping powerful item. So what do you think Goblin wants to do with having 1 to 100 marked number creatures? What do you think Goblin has planned for when all of them are gathered together? No, they summon this ancient lost relic that Goblin has planned. The Goblin hasn't fully decided what to do, because the wish granting reality warping thing just sounds way too broken. Although, very cool task, that would be very interesting. Goblin's planning for a very powerful lost artifact to basically be summoned, and basically make it so all the numbers leave the bodies of the creatures, but leave them their special powers to them, or a copy of it, and basically just go... have all the numbers enter the ancient artifact to make it so... basically... Okay, you need to look up the Numeron code, then, look up the final fight for Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. It was actually really cool. That was one of the coolest fights, that ending. For Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. Look up the final fight for Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. Actually, no, that's not that cool fight. The final fight. Look up the fight between Dawn 1000 versus Shark and Yuma. That was a really cool final fight. But, yeah, basically Goblin is wanting to make it so it's a whole treasure hunt thing, to basically get all these creatures willingly together, to basically bring a very powerful artifact into the world, and basically has pretty lore implications and world building stuff that Goblin plan around it, and that the artifact is highly sought after and wanted, because, well, it's a flipping cool artifact that really lets you do something pretty cool. Goblin hasn't decided what yet. Maybe it lets you do something, Goblin doesn't want to do... Maybe... You know what? It lets you make your own universe. You basically get to leave this universe and make your own universe and become a powerful being and have your own universe and just leave everything behind. Basically, bye-bye. I leave. That would be cool, actually, to see how motivations and storytelling could be done with that. That actually would be really cool to see how people do that. Yeah, basically. But in a different universe, so you basically just leave your world behind and become the creator of your own universe. And some psychos just want their own world where they dictate everything. And the reason a lot of people try and stop that is because the last person who got their hands on it and did it when made an army invasion to try and wipe out their old universe and basically enslave everyone. That actually is pretty cool storytelling, and so basically to prevent that from happening, it was sealed away. Yeah, that actually sounds very cool. Other than that, Goblin probably gonna just do some day net swiping, see what kind of girls Goblin can find, and maybe one of the Goblin. Let's see here, so she is nothing shared interest, blah blah blah, likes music a lot, go with the flow kind of girl, probably not the Goblin. But yeah, yeah, that's probably what Goblin's gonna do actually, basically. It leaves a huge risk of the person returning. Let's see here. Goblin was jobless for a while. Goblin's game finally gonna start work soon for a job that Goblin finally got. 2, Goblin is not really the type of guy that most people want to date because Goblin's a nerd. And Goblin is... Yeah, Goblin just has a lot of things that go against Goblin with dating, so it's hard finding a girl. Yeah, Goblin's the ugly nerd that everyone flees from. Like, let Goblin clarify. Goblin has scared a female before. A girl that Goblin was close friends with, that Goblin was interested in. One that is funny, you called yourself cute, that's hilarious, Polish. But, Goblin is scary. Goblin has scared people before. They have, like, Goblin has been told by someone that Goblin once wanted to date that she did out of fear, because she was scared of Goblin, so it kind of sucks the game scene for Goblin. Because Goblin is terrifying, apparently. So... Goblin acknowledges Goblin's scary, it's fine, Polish bones. Oh, then the Marvel board games, okay. Disney, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Okay, see. No, we'll see if she's interested. Let's see, she likes board games, is romantic. Bad at Fortnite, okay. Okay, Goblin will scroll up, see if she's interested. Probably not. So Goblin? Why are you giving me a frowny face? Goblin's fine, Polish. Goblin acknowledges Goblin's scary. Sheesh. And then Goblin can express Goblin's scary. Oh, pitiful. Anyway, let's see. What's the bare minimum, though? Yeah, well, it's... Creative romantic cooking, that's nice. Moving on to that your goblin. Sushi and cooking, massage. Probably not into goblin. Probably not. Oh, you're gonna go now? Yeah. Take care, boys. Bye. Yeah, Goblin should probably, you know what? Goblin's gonna hit a raid really quick. Because Goblin does need to head and get some dinner now and do some real life stuff. No matter how much Goblin doesn't want to. Okay, those ones are drinking. Goblin wants to raid some new VTubers. Let's see if there's anyone interesting. Just a fair chatting. Goblin. Blah 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 blah. Like, I should leave the Goblin raid message here. Goblin raid. Enter that to chat. So let's raid here. Let's see here. Ooh, a panda VTuber? You know what? Why not? Goblin's wanting to raid a panda. We're gonna raid the panda. Raiding the panda, raiding the panda, raiding the panda, raiding the panda, raiding the panda. Goblins raiding the panda. Goblins raiding the panda. And they're playing. What are they playing? No, they're just chatting, but it looks like they changed to a game here. Alright, bye.